Machiavelli, the cunning strategist of Renaissance Italy, understood a brutal truth. Power doesn't belong to the most virtuous or skilled, but to those who wield unshakable certainty. Right now, while you're scrolling through endless feeds of success stories that aren't yours, someone less talented, less intelligent, less worthy is winning. Closing deals, turning heads, claiming victories that should be yours. Why? Because they project bold, unapologetic conviction, striding forward as if the world owes them everything. And the world, obedient to their audacity, complies. Meanwhile, you hesitate, overthink, dilute your words with doubt, and watch opportunities slip to those who dare to seize them. Here's the kicker. This isn't your fault. It's a survival instinct, a deeply rooted defense mechanism designed to keep you safe, but now chaining you to mediocrity. If you've ever felt that invisible wall, whether at work, in social circles, or in romance, holding you back while others surge ahead, you're not alone. You already feel it deep down. Confidence isn't something you learn. It's a raw, primal power buried in your unconscious, waiting to be unleashed. Machiavelli's insight, backed by modern psychology, changes everything. Once you tap into this hidden strength, hesitation vanishes and you become untouchable. This guide isn't a soft pat on the back or a fleeting dose of inspiration. It's a blueprint for domination, forged in the ruthless wisdom of Machiavelli's courtly intrigues. Confidence isn't a warm feeling or a birthright. It's a weapon, sharp, unforgiving, designed to carve your empire from the chaos of mediocrity. Fail to grasp it, and someone else will, slicing through your defenses and leaving you with regrets. Over the next 20 minutes, you'll learn to dismantle the weaknesses society ingrained in you, command presence like a king, wield words with lethal precision, and transform rejection into fuel for your ascent. This is your turning point, not for comfort, not for motivation, but for absolute control. Let's begin the war to reclaim your power. You've felt it, that gut punch moment when you spend hours crafting the perfect email, only to see a less skilled colleague snag the promotion because they didn't overthink. Or in a group, nodding along, softening your opinions to keep peace, while someone else's voice dominates, leaving yours unheard. Romantically, it's worse. You're the reliable friend. Always there, never desired, ghosted while others with half your depth walk away with what you want. This isn't random, it's a psychological trap, what experts call imposter syndrome or people-pleasing, wired into you from childhood. You learn to shrink to avoid judgment, to survive parents' rules or peers' dismissal, but now it's a prison, turning your potential for greatness into hesitation. That quiet anger at being overlooked, that's your shadow self, clawing to break free. Psychological research on social hierarchies backs what Machiavelli saw. This armor of niceness doesn't protect you. It dulls your instincts for power. You weren't born timid. As a kid, you demanded attention, grabbed what you wanted, moved without fear. But the world stepped in, parents, teachers, peers, pushing you to be polite, to wait your turn, to avoid trouble. Obedience earned praise. Defiance brought shame. Over time, you internalized it, becoming the apologizer, the one who steps back, trained to crave approval. That voice in your head whispering, "What if they don't like me?" Or "Am I enough?" isn't you. It's a parasite, a conditioned reflex keeping you small. If you don't destroy it, you'll watch bolder men take what's yours. What you call hesitation is survival programming gone wrong. At work, it's stagnation, doing grunt work while others claim glory, your stomach knotting at the thought of confrontation. Socially, it's invisibility, feeling dismissed because you avoid conflict. In dating, it's the nice guy's curse, projecting safe vibes that repel desire, attracting those who use your empathy and leave. Freud's superego theory explains it. your internalized critic, shaped by society, fights your raw drive for dominance, leaving you drained, submissive. Psychologists call this empathic burnout, where caring too much about others' needs saps your energy. You've buried your assertive side under shame, but Machiavelli saw this as a mask to rip off, revealing power beneath. You're allowed to question why you've been conditioned this way. Your empathy has been weaponized, turning strength into weakness. If you've felt that gap where bolder men win while you wait, comment, "I see the chains." This is your first step, seeing anxiety as untapped energy, shame as fuel for change. This runs deep, tied to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where craving validation traps you short of self-actualization. Repeated rejection breeds identity grief, mourning the dominant self you never became. At work, it's not asking for a raise because you feel unworthy. Socially, it's powerlessness, avoiding confrontation. Romantically, it's rage at injustice, funneled into desperation. Jung's shadow projection explains why you envy alpha men while denying your own potential. Machiavelli knew power flows to those who embrace their shadow. Your anger at being dismissed, your craving for control, these aren't flaws, they're signals from your unconscious, demanding you step up. You're not weak, you're a prince in exile, ready to claim the throne. Machiavelli didn't grovel in power's courts. He moved through political viper pits with bold certainty, acting while others froze. He didn't beg influence. He orchestrated it, knowing hesitation invites defeat. Your transformation demands the same. When you want to shrink in a crowd, expand, fill the space, own the air. When you're tempted to over-explain, justifying your ideas like you're on trial, pause. Let silence force others to feel your presence. When you start to apologize, "Sorry for interrupting," or "I didn't mean to offend," lock eyes with unyielding calm, making them face you. Forge this armor daily. Walk with purpose, steps fast, straight, as if the ground bends to you. Claim space, spread your arms on the subway, stride down the sidewalk's center. Stop nodding to signal submission, banish or "you know" that weaken your words. Speak with finality, turning suggestions into commands. "We'll do it this way," not "maybe we could try this." Your words should hit like verdicts, not spark debates. Confidence isn't a fleeting boost, it's an identity forged in defiance against the servile ghost in your head. Crush self-deprecating thoughts. Eradicate habits of deference like apologizing for existing. Sever people who drain your power, demanding you shrink. If it breeds hesitation, charge it. If it fosters weakness, deny it. If it craves likability, laugh at it. Machiavelli's truth is brutal. Nice guys aren't leaders, they're tools used by the cunning, discarded when dull. Power demands precision over pleasantry, control over compassion, calculation over chaos. Kill the pleading voice groveling for acceptance. You need no one's permission to rise. Validation is for the weak. Instill fear in your former self's remnants, and the ruler emerges, crowned in certainty. Kill or be killed, internally, eternally. Machiavelli knew power belongs to those who master their shadow self, the raw drive society tells you to bury. In The Prince, he wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both," exposing niceness as a trap. Jung's shadow archetype agrees. Your hidden ruthlessness, ambition, and self-interest aren't flaws. They complete you, forging psychological strength. You've been taught to suppress these. Schools punished boldness, jobs rewarded conformity, relationships demanded you give without getting back. But Jung's insight shifts everything. Embracing your shadow doesn't make you cruel, it makes you whole. Think of your workplace stagnation, overlooked despite your skills. Psychologists call this learned helplessness, where rejection wires you to expect failure, freezing you in negotiations or confrontations. Machiavelli called it the servant's mindset. Jung saw it as shadow denial, creating anxiety, overthinking, imposter syndrome. Your instincts are tuned to approval, blind to exploitation. Ever held back on a date to seem nice, only to be rejected? That's the cost. Comment: shadow awakening. Freud's ego, superego model explains further. Your superego, society's rules, fights your id's drive for dominance, leaving your ego submissive. Machiavelli saw this in politics. The hesitant prince, always explaining, loses power. Psychology confirms this causes empathic burnout, draining you by prioritizing others. Socially, you're invisible, listening but not leading, wired for harmony over hierarchy. Romantically, suppressing your ID's assertiveness creates a safe persona that repels desire. Reclaiming these drives isn't rebellion, it's recalibration, turning resentment into strategy. You're allowed to feel that buried anger. It's your shadow demanding freedom. Maslow's hierarchy shows the urgency. You've met survival needs, but self-actualization demands you ditch validation seeking. Identity grief, mourning the dominant self you never became, shows in workplace avoidance, social powerlessness, romantic desperation. Jung's shadow projection explains why you envy alphas while denying your own strength. Your Machiavellian shadow, the strategist, the calculator, the one who doesn't flinch, is buried but alive. That anger when overlooked, that craving to command, that sting after ghosting, it's your gift. Without embracing it, you're fragmented, triggers exposed. Those moments of shame, fearing failure, that's your shadow calling, trapped under societal armor, promising safety but delivering stagnation. You're among the few sensing this truth, ready to unearth your power. True power doesn't shout, it simmers. Masters of presence don't need fanfare, they infiltrate like shadows, shifting the air. Conversations hush, postures adjust, eyes dart to gauge you. You don't need fame or titles, you make the room orbit your gravity. That's ownership, claimed through behavior, screaming entitlement. In Machiavelli's courts, power often lay with silent advisors, not loud kings. Silence isn't absence, it's ammunition. Bluster exposes you, makes you predictable. The quiet man is the enigma. Thoughts veiled, breeding unease. Cross a threshold, boardroom, bar, bedroom, and drop the nervous scans for approval. Observe like a strategist on a battlefield. Who's posturing? Who's insecure? Who's the threat? Let others babble, leaking their fears, while you hold your cards close. Your body speaks first. Stand tall, shoulders squared, not stiff but natural, as if gravity serves you. Move slowly, deliberately. Haste betrays doubt. The predator's sprint saved for the kill. Prowl with calm that unnerves the frantic. Most betray themselves, fidgeting, rushing words, interrupting to seem relevant. You enter as owner, speaking not to impress but to decree, each phrase landing like stone. Others adapt, not debate. Withhold your voice when others raise theirs. Let them expose insecurities, the first to speak leaking the most. Exploit subtly, a nod, a piercing gaze, bending the room's flow without force. Don't chase charisma. Generate pull, drawing attention effortlessly. Confidence isn't popularity, it's making others question their place near you. They'll wonder, who is he? Why does he seem above this? Indifference to approval is your crown. If the space wasn't yours entering, it will be exiting, not through loud conquest, but implied. They'll feel your authority's chill, unchallenged. You don't demand the room, you are the room, and the world reshapes around you. Without embracing your Machiavellian shadow, you're trapped in rejection and invisibility. Psychologists warn of narcissistic wounding, ego blows causing withdrawal. But Machiavelli saw the real danger, a life of servitude, power slipping to the bold. Unchanneled frustration, anxiety, and anger will erupt destructively. At work, it's underemployment, watching aggressive peers climb while you stagnate. Socially, it's isolation, losing allies through passivity. Romantically, it's toxicity, overcompensation or rejection, hiding depression or trauma. Persist as the servant and the world uses you. Face this crisis and you unlock transformation. Jung and Maslow agree. Ignoring the shadow leads to regret, but confronting it now saves decades. The fear of change is real, but so is the terror of staying powerless. This is a psychological emergency. If you've spiraled after rejection, thinking, "Why me?" comment, "Crisis recognized." The toll is brutal. Rage at finishing last, anxiety in confrontation, shame replaying weaknesses. Unaddressed, these turn chronic. Social anxiety isolating you, imposter syndrome killing career growth, desperation in dating, attracting toxicity. You've learned to react emotionally, over-explaining for approval, avoiding conflict, deepening the wound. It's a loop. Suppression leaks as passive aggression at work, resentment toward friends, self-sabotage in love. Machiavelli warned the hesitant prince loses his kingdom. You lose control to exploitative bosses, dismissive peers, ghosting partners. This crisis is a gift, signaling outdated wiring. Your desperation for change is your id demanding freedom. That anger at injustice, craving for success, need for predictability, it's identity grief, mourning your buried self. Others' resistance, calling your awakening arrogant or cold, is their fear of your rising power. Most don't grasp shadow work, projecting their suppressed traits onto you. Expect pushback when you stop pleasing. Bosses may test boundaries, partners used to your submissiveness may pull away. That's disqualification, not loss. Jung's dark night of the soul is this purge before integration. Without facing it, you risk narcissism or depression as anger turns inward. You're at a tipping point, sensing where bold men win while you wait. Society rewards conformity, but now you authorize rebellion. Not destruction, but emergence. Words aren't communication, they're artillery. Most wield them weakly, sentences trailing into questions, voices laced with, like, I mean. That's not speech. It's surrender, apologizing for existing. Machiavelli knew authority lies in delivery. Speak with certainty, and people submit to conviction, not logic. Humans are emotional, swayed by belief over facts. Hesitate, and you're dismissed. Assert, and you're enthroned. A king's voice is deliberate, slow, final, each sentence a decree beyond appeal. Speak as if your words are law, the room forced to comply. In debates, sound like the verdict and they yield. Not for logic, but certainty. Conclude, don't start debates. Your words end discussions. Speak sparingly, verbosity erodes mystique. Say less, mean more, let others fill voids with their projections. Purge softeners, just, maybe, in my opinion, escape hatches for the weak. State truth, stop. Let silence challenge. Most crumble, fearing your next words. Tone sets your place. Lower pitch, slow tempo, strip nervous energy. Speak like you've nothing to prove, everything controlled. Don't shout, make words feel like facts. Challenged? Don't defend. Say, I disagree, or that's incorrect, and move on. Refusal to engage terrifies. Your reality isn't negotiable. Rulers, commanders, exiles reclaiming thrones speak thus. Confidence is density, words compelling obedience. Don't seek to be right. Speak as if you can't be wrong. Assume they'll listen. They will. Vocalize as a monarch, or stay silent, your presence louder than words. The solution isn't affirmations, it's shadow integration, blending Machiavelli's strategies with psychological recalibration. First, kill the servant through defiance. Jung's active imagination meets Machiavelli's intrigue. When hesitation hits, at work, in talks, pause. Hear the superego's whisper, invert it. Speak slower, lower, state facts, not questions. You over-explain, now wield silence. Romantically, pull back availability, flipping power with scarcity. This rewires you from submission to sovereignty. Second, build a mental fortress with emotional alchemy. Freud's defenses show how to turn rejection into fuel. Reframe it as intel, not injury. Overlooked at work? Calculate their weakness. Don't react. Socially, use indifference as armor. Let others expose insecurities. For romantic rejection, vanish strategically. Return stronger. This integrates your ID, building psychological resilience, turning triggers into tools. Journal daily. Validate forbidden ambitions as strengths. Third, enter spaces with gravity. Maslow's self-actualizers and Machiavelli's princes live this. Walk deliberately, observe before speaking, let posture command. In groups, speak less with finality, turning invisibility into enigma. At work, redirect challenges. That's incorrect, then move on. Romantically, project unnegotiable value through tone. Fourth, weaponize voice and silence. Vocalics studies confirm Machiavelli. Lower tempo, deeper pitch signals dominance. Cut fillers, apologies, speak as decrees. In confrontations, silence amplifies power. Let others reveal vulnerabilities. This retunes your instincts, making others defer. Rejection stings the unprepared, festering with shame. To the powerful, it's a map who underestimates you where you stand. A no means they see you as dispensable. That's data, not defeat. Use it to reposition, recalibrate, return undeniable. Machiavelli advised generosity or destruction, not cruelty, but strategy. Rejection cues withdrawal, not emotional, but tactical. Absence a weapon, growth a reckoning. Never show rejection's pain. A flinch gives them victory. Stay unfazed, evolving. They didn't reject you, they disqualified themselves. Rejection only holds power if you let it. Refuse, don't react, evolve. Vanish like a general regrouping, no explanations, leaving voids amplifying your worth. Build silently, sharpen skills, refine presence, amplify power. Reframe rejection, you weren't chasing, you tested their discernment. They failed, giving you clarity. Know who's blind, where your influence needs work. Don't sulk, sharpen your edge. Skills, aura, presence. Build until your success forces dismisses to explain themselves. Return without revenge. It's petty. Let time vindicate. Re-emerge when dominance is undeniable. No spite, just presence. They'll feel their mistake wordlessly. Rejection is a forge, burning away weakness, strengthening resolve. It redirects you to a self that doesn't ask twice, doesn't flinch. Build quietly. Return as a force. The world bends not because you demanded, but because you became it. Integrate this, and you're the conscious Machiavellian. Strategic, not reactive. Shadow embraced. Stagnation dissolves as you set boundaries. Demand recognition. Socially, you're the center, drawing respect. Romantically, rejection becomes dominance, attracting through untouchable confidence. This isn't selfish. It's your right to transcend. You're rebuilt, not just inspired. Self-doubt is dead, killed by action, not affirmations, moving before you felt ready, proving power belongs to the bold. Rejection isn't a wound, it's fuel, making others pay for dismissing you through silence and scarcity. You don't enter rooms to be liked. You own them with presence, posture, precision. Your voice doesn't plead. It commands, disagreement unthinkable. You're no longer predictable, swayed by praise or scorn. They can't provoke or tempt you. You're untouchable, belonging to no one, unforgettable. This is a legend's birth, forged in silence, clarity, consistency. You don't announce transformation, they feel it in your walk, tone, absence. You're the man others watch quietly, once chasing, now chased, once asking, now deciding, no longer needing approval because you are the standard. This isn't confidence, it's dominance, mental, emotional, strategic. You don't fit in, you move the pieces, bend the room, haunt their minds. Legends don't beg or explain, they exist, and the world reshapes. You're among the awakened, wielding Machiavelli's wisdom and psychological depth, leaving the unconscious behind. If this unleashed your shadow, like it to claim your power. Subscribe to join the evolved, turning frustration into dominance. Share your breakthrough. Sovereign Unleashed. This isn't self-help, it's warfare, and you're the weapon.